berry, melon, rosso, rose, red apple, bianco, pineapple, black cherry, ruby rose, grapefruit, moscato, iced tea, tropical, mango, green apple, blackberry, orange fusion, lemon, lime, French vanilla, red wine, black wine, pink wine, peach wine, blueberry, golden, honey, peach, royal. I'm spoiled, cause you're tasty, 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 tasty. Oh. The candles are burning, the music is low. You're fine as wine and your body close. You sway to the melody, your poetry in motion. I'm caught in a spell and you got the potion. I'll pull you closer so I can embrace you. The smell of your clavicle makes me wanna taste you. You're my Stella Rosa. You're my Stella Rosa. You're my Stella Rosa. You're my Stella Rosa. Our bodies are touching. I put my hands on your waist. This passion is burning as I invade your space. You slow grind up on me while I'm tracing your spine. I'm caressing your curves, girl, with nasty thoughts on my mind. I'm kissing on your shoulders, removing your gown. You roll your neck like you're stretching as I begin to go down. You're my Stella Rosa. You're my Stella Rosa. You're my Stella Rosa. You're my Stella Rosa. Berries, melon, rosso, rose, red apple, bianco, pineapple, black cherry, ruby rose, grapefruit, moscato, iced tea, tropic mango, green apple, blackberry. You taste it.
Welcome back to another episode of Music's Own Talks Boxing. This episode comes to you by way of H.W. Wicks Handcrafted Candles. Their motto is relax and enjoy. Also by the Block Fam, which started on Marlowe's Corner. We just keeping it going. The music that you hear that we play is coming from the Track Titans. So if you know somebody that's looking for some hot tracks to open on their videos, play throughout their videos, hit us up. We'll set them up. Also, Placardance Associations, my brother DeCane be putting those videos together with those smooth AI sounds that be having you grooving. So y'all know how it is. As the title says, Itauma stopped Franklin, so did Fundora stop Thurman. We're going to dive into that talk and have us some fun tonight like we usually do. But as always, I sit back and let my family get to joining in. But before I go off, I want to say, my big sister Pat, Big E's wife, she's a little under the weather. I want to send some good energy, some prayers, and some love to her so she can get better. Hurry up and get better. Come on home, sis. We love you. I'm going to go ahead and hit y'all with Hydro Blow, and we're going to slowly slide into the way this thing go.
Shorty looking mad fly, had me captivated when she walked by. I'm serious, she had me feeling this tingle, son. Stimulating conversation after mingling. Honey was jingling and stretched jeans looking clean. Appearance would enhance any scene, know what I mean? Feel me? Really? I know it sounds silly, but looking at her was like puffing on a fat fillet. Relaxing, she had this natural attraction. She started laughing when she saw my reaction. Oh my, Pass the name and number to the cell. As for mine, I said his oldest last name is Bell, also known as the O, the B, the 3, the A, the S, the T. It's me, obese, and you get high. Then I'm your guy. If I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low. Slow burn.
Say what you want, just be blunt, I can stand the flames. Take a ride on the Cape Airlines, I promise you'll be glad you came. The fire in your eyes make wetness between your thighs. You say you never blow, I eliminate your disguise. Underneath your green exterior, I gaze. Exploration of your brain leaves me in a purple haze. I see consent as my morals continue living. I just like to engage in a little oral tradition. So pardon my unorthodox approach to blazing luscious. That's just the way I roll. Lick the split before I stuff it. You like it hot, I got enough smoke to choke the average stroke. But tonight I'm trying to go a little deeper. Loving the feel of your lips, taking drags off this gas, just puff and never pass. I'm your high value reefer.
I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low.
I'm chilling in my room on this night. I got something tied up in the shower. Am I right? A friend in the negligee smiling and she rolling up. Every once in a while looking up, saying, "Girl, hurry up." She placed her gaze back up on and took a deep sigh and said, "I'm so hungry. You want a drink?" I said, "Yeah." And while she walking to the table, she asking what I think. I like the way your lips poke, I like she pout. And that ass got my little man shouting. She kinda giggled, "Oh, you like what you see?" Before I can answer, I heard, "Hey, what about me?" I turn around, she got a pose with no clothes, with her leg up on the chair, with her hands on the pole. She said, "Don't speak, just lay back on the bed." Said something about double D. Yeah, you heard what she said.
If I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low. If I got the high, you got the low.
First of all, I want to start off by saying it's a lot going on. You know, I understand that Devin and Rolly were supposed to fight, but now I'm seeing that Devin is talking about the money ain't right, so Rolly can go ahead and fight his dang, I lost the train of thought that fast. Fight his next fight, which is supposed to be his challenger, his mandatory. He can go ahead and fight his mandatory because the money not right. Now, if I remember correctly, Bill was making a lot of noise saying, you know, we ready to fight whoever, whenever, whatever, however. And now Rolly saying he done signed the contract, he done sent the contract, and Devin is popping up saying that the money ain't right and he can find something better and all this stuff. Well, that don't quite make sense to me. If you said that you was ready to deal with whatever was coming out, then you're supposed to go ahead and take care of that. There ain't no need to be dodging it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, who am I to say what they can and can't do? Keith Thurman. What can I say about Keith, man? I don't want to go too hard on him because, you know, me and Gil Coles is tight. That's my brother, you know, Gil Coles. That's a Thurman fan. But I had to put a pause on it because when I understand and looked at it, you know, I was like, how is Keith going to get past Fundora's reach, his length? That was my biggest concern. I was like, if he can get into the inside and work the body, he stood a chance. But even on the inside, Fundora was trying to put him in the wash machine and mix him up and pound on him a little bit. He was reaching from the outside, boxing weird from the outside. It was just no way for Keith to get through it. And I don't want to take away from Fundora's win and say because Keith had been out the ring so long, because, you know, he jumped in there with Pacquiao, he jumped in there with Mario Barrios, he beat Mario Barrios. And, you know, he talked a great game, a hell of a game. He talked a great game as if, you know, y'all dealing with Keith one-time Thurman. Well, you know, we might have to take a break off of the one time and just be Keith Thurman. It is what it is, and it does what it does. I told y'all, he went out there and just couldn't get it right. Just couldn't get it right. That boy, Fundora was too much. A couple of times I seen, it looked like he kind of knocked Keith off balance a couple of times, you know. And shit, Keith just didn't have no answer. He tried, but he just didn't have an answer for the youngster. And, you know, after they started talking to people and, you know, after the fight was over, you know, I saw Charlo, the younger Charlo, talking. And to me, you know, I was looking at some later videos, some previous videos of Charlo with Earl Spence, Derrick James, his older brother. And I started paying attention to the way the looks that he had and things like that. And I'm gonna go and say it, man. To me, we've been seeing signs of it, but on the cool, I think young Charlo is a hater. Y'all might not agree with me, but I think the man is a hater. Straight up. I look at checking out the old videos. He looking at Earl Spence sideways, Derrick James, and his brother. You know, it's almost like, you know, now it's starting to come out. It's starting to bleed out. You know, he making statements. He talking about, yeah, you know, Fundora beat all those guys that said that they thought they can beat him. You know, he'd knock all of them out. But me, you know, I'm ready. I'll whoop his ass. But I don't see that. I don't see that for the simple fact that you've been gone so long. You know, the guy told him that he was interviewing, that was interviewing. He was like, you've been out the ring for about 3 years. He corrected him 3 or 4 years. Four years. I've been out, you know, I've been out the ring 3 years. I think he said 2, really. But either way, he's been out the ring a long time. And I'm gonna pose the same question that I posed for Keith Thurman when it comes down to going against Fundora. And that is, what will Jamel do different from Keith Thurman in order to get past that long jab, the long punches of Fundora, the length? Now, yeah, I know he has a little more height than Keith. He stands closer to 6 feet. But still, Fundora is 6'5". You know, 5'11", 6 feet is what younger Charlo is. You know, that height might give him a little more to work with within the fight. That might give him a little something to do. But he's not a fighter that dodges and moves side to side, keep his head off the line. You know, we're not used to seeing him do that. You know, he usually puts his hands up and block and such to that nature. Now we know he has some pop. You know, we knew Keith had pop. But like I said, Keith, you know, been out the ring for a minute, you know, and the injuries and stuff like that, which his face looked painted, man. He looked painted up. Fundora did a great job of keeping him on the outside on the end of his punches. Keith kind of surprised me, maybe disappointed me a little bit with the referee comment. You know, he felt like he stopped it too early. He felt like he could keep going on if he just had a few more minutes, just a few more minutes. I was about to turn it on. And make it real exciting. And the crowd would have seen something, you know, probably, you know, he did mention that, you know, maybe he would have got dropped. Maybe he would have got, you know, knocked down. But the referee should have let it happen. I don't agree with it. I don't have a disheartening concern about it. Like, nah, Keith, you wrong. You know, if he felt like he could have kept going, it's possible. But from what I was seeing, it looked like he was about to start getting beat up pretty good. He was already taking some punishment. The fight opened up and he got called straight out the gate with a straight left, you know, straight left, a solid left that sounded off. But Keith being Keith, you know, I was proud of him that he didn't just bag straight up like he usually does. He might have did it a couple of times. For the most time, he kept circling. He was circling the wrong way. But oh boy, we got Napoleon Armstrong in the building. It was good, OG Napoleon Armstrong in the house. Yeah, I gotta remember to put the OG in there because that man went on and did his thing. And Champ Ross, congratulations on that once again. But glad to see you inside the building. As I was saying, Keith, you know, he just where the hell this fly come from? Get out of here. Okay, see. There we go. Already start. But anyway, it was just turning bad for him. You know, like I said, he ran into a straight left right out the gate. A straight left right out the gate. Sounded off. And Fundora punches, whether they were being blocked or landed, they had some nice little sounds to him. It sounded like a little bass coming off his punches when he was landing on Keith. He tried to, he overwhelmed Keith a few times, and you know, Keith get a solid shot in, and he came back with 4 or 5 punches, letting Keith know, okay, you got that good shot in, but you're not holding it down. You're not finna wreck the night. But what can I say? Keith lost. He got those hands put on him. He got stopped, and he gonna have to realize that. But back to the Jamel younger Charlo, I think the dude on the cool, I think he a hater. I think he been hating for a while. People were just on the point that, you know, rah, him and his brother, and, you know, the fighting they was going through. But I think the man might be a little jealous of his brother, you know, might be jealous of Earl Spence too. Salute, OG. We just need 4 more minutes. I know we just needed 4 more minutes. But what can I say? Gil Coles is in the building, and true to form, he came in. He said we just needed 4 more minutes. You know, I was just about to get it started. No, you weren't. I don't think you were about to just get it started. I think it was started when he caught you with that straight left. I think now Keith didn't show us. He didn't show no quit in him. I'll give him that for sure. But I do think that he realized that Fundora was a little more than what he was expecting. I don't know if he'll admit that, but the look at him from time to time within the fight, it just looked like he had caught some things that he just didn't expect. Now I'm sure Keith heard from everyone during his prime. Now it's too late, missed out on millions. Well, I won't say he was hiding, because he kept getting injured, and then he did get married and he had a child. I guess that could take up a little bit of time, but I would say the injuries helped or prolonged him returning back into the ring to be able to do what he needed to do. But I wouldn't quite say he was hiding from everybody. I wouldn't do that to him. I just say within his career, he had a lot of bad luck situations he came through, a lot of bad situations he came through that kept him out the ring and kept him from fighting like he needed to. I think one of the biggest mistakes was not trying to fight Earl Spence when Earl Spence was trying to fight him. I think that was one of his biggest mistakes. I think he should have went on and made that fight instead of talking about how Earl needed to gain more popularity and things of that nature. He should have went on and just jumped on in there and made that happen. And things probably, not saying that the Earl Spence fight would have changed much for him, but things could have been different there, but it is what it is. We coming up, he's 37 now, I believe. I don't know how much more juice he gonna have in order to handle his business and do what he needs to do. How fast can he make fights? Who's left? He had 154. He just lost to Fundora. You still got Boots. You got Xander. You got Virgil. You got you got these. Those are some top names right there. But how fast can you get into a fight with him, and how busy are they? Another person. Let me ask y'all this. Now that Fundora has beaten Keith, who who would you rally on or say stand the strongest chance to fighting? I'm glad Boots is getting ready to fight, because I was getting to the point that he's being held up so long that, you know, I think Fundora can be dangerous for everybody, anybody. Boots, you know, might be able to be the most athletic one at the moment with the speed. I won't sweat the switch hitting too much. Whoever fights him is going to have to have a game plan to get inside, put in work, and get out. I believe that through and through. You're not just going to get out there and box Fundora from the outside, because if you don't have the reach like he does, then that's just a futile effort. You're not going to get anything done. He's going to pick you apart from distance. Now, if you can get in, maybe tie down one of his arms and throw with your free arm, that might work a little bit, but you still got to get in and get out. You can't linger on the inside with this dude. He's showing that as far as his fighting skills, I think he's stepping it up a little bit. I think that knockout that Mendoza put on him helped pave the way for him to pay attention and be able to go ahead and do what he needs to do. He wasn't as hurt as Earl over the years. I never bought into those so-called injuries. He was whipped in up under that woman. You think that's what it was? You think he was just being caked up, hugged up, and in love? I don't know, man. I don't want to put it on him like that, like he just disappeared in fighting. I don't want to do that. You know, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt with the injuries. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt with the injuries and say that's what could have been the thing. But as far as he probably in his mind had the right game plan, but just didn't have the ability to pull it off. You know, he just didn't have the ability to pull it off. Like I said, maybe he underestimated Fundora a little bit, which is possible. You know, the way Keith talks, I thought he was talking a good game, but you know, talking don't win fights. Fights win fights. And as I was saying, you know, I'm thinking about Boots and Fundora. I'll get back on Charlo in a minute, but as far as them fighting, I'm thinking Boots is like probably the most athletic out of the guys that he can face as of late at 154. But you can't fight him on the outside. You got to find a way to get on the inside and tenderize that body. And he not just letting you in there for free. He gonna make you pay some rent, because he fights on the inside. Is pretty much I think he might fight on the inside better than he fights on the outside, but he's learning how to use the jab. He's learning how to use long range punches to have you confused. And it does seems he might have a little mean streak in him. If he can connect you and get you a little hurt, it look like he's willing to jump on you and bring you some problems. It is what it is. Who's going to be able to, who do you guys think can bring him the most problems? Like I said, you know, in order to get, you got to get past the barbed wire fence. Let's just call it that. You got to get past the barbed wire fence with that long reach that he has. And once you get inside, you got to be ready for the mix-up that he's going to be throwing at you. And he's going to throw a mix-up at you. Simple and plain. So whoever goes in there better have a hard hat and a lunch pail, because I don't think it's going to be easy. The only thing that might save him help out is for the simple fact Fundora said that he don't plan on being in the game for a long time. I think he's talking about getting out when he in his 30s. Because I think I heard him in the interview saying he was thinking about getting out within his 30s. So they got a little time to deal with him, a few years. We're gonna have to see how it go. I would love to see him starting to unify and see if he can become champion. But then I heard him say that he'd gain a belt and probably go ahead and drop it and let those guys fight over it and then beat up the next one. Well, that's some, you know, that's some talk right there to say I'm gonna take a belt, drop the belt, let them fight for the belt. Whoever wins, I'm gonna beat up that person. That's gangster. That's gangster. You know, the only thing more gangster is I'm gonna take all the belts and then whoop all comers. That's the next most gangster thing. Now, if Keith can't do it, who can? Dang, yeah, Cole, that's I guess you could say that. You could say that if Keith can't do it, who can? But let's move to the lineage champion, which would be Charlo, who says he can. But I'm looking, you know, he's been out the ring for a minute. I'm wondering, can he? I think he'll have these same problems, the exact same problems that Keith Thurman had. Yeah, he hits a little harder. He has a little more height. You know, he's about like 5'11", 6 feet. So, you know, that'll give him a little more to negotiate and negate the length of Fundora. But will he be able to capitalize on it? That's the question. You know, you got to get in close enough to land your punches. And this dude throw volume punches. He throws a lot of punches. And going up against Keith, he seemed to be quite accurate with it. Mel won't let his hands go against Fundora. Well, that would be because Fundora would be letting his hands go. And I don't think it would be a positive act for him to languish on the ropes. You know, I can't say that. One thing I can't say that I've seen coming from Jamel is a lot of movement from him. You know, I don't see a lot of movement from from him as far as footwork, head movement, and stuff like that. You know, you really think about it, you know, he kind of was a little more overpowered on other guys and been able to get them out of there. Charlo proved the domesticated house cat, not a lion, loudmouth thundercat. So he domesticated now. That's what you're saying. Well, wow. All I know is looking at some later footage of Charlo. In my opinion, it seems like you know, he want to get back out there in the spotlight. He taking dumps on his brother Earl, you know, the guys that used to be around it, and you know, making a loud noise that it's him. He's the one that can do it. But I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, I'd be hard pressed to if he makes a comeback, I'd be hard pressed to say, hey, I'm riding with Charlo against Fundora, because you got to get past the length, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to get past the length. And from what it looked like, one thing I did notice about Fundora is even though Keith was circling and trying to find angles and stuff like that, Fundora is pretty decent with keeping someone in front of him so he can shoot off those missiles. He you know, they say he was following Keith around, but his height or whatever, you know, he was able to keep Keith in front of him. A few times, you know, Keith probably got in there, you know, swing for the fence or whatever, try to get in, but it was to no prevail. You know, Fundora was able to stay out of harm's way. There was nothing Keith was doing or could do, in my opinion, unless he had a surprise Fundora, and looked like Fundora was ready for everything that Keith was going to try to bring. Keith tried lunging in a couple of times. That didn't work. There was nothing, in my opinion, that he was going to do from the outside. That was just a waste. If you game plan to be outside, that was a waste of a game plan. There was nothing out there you were going to do. And Charlo, Boots, Virgil, all of them, you know, I heard Roy Jones saying that Tim Tszyu was doing a lot better on the inside in the second fight. But I checked it out, and in both fights, Fundora was pretty much beating Tim Tszyu, in my opinion, in the rounds. He was pretty much beating Tim Tszyu. The first one, Tim Tszyu got the cut, but he was still landing good shots. Yeah, Tim Tszyu had landed some shots and did some things, which Keith got in a couple of shots, you know, a couple, not a lot, but he got a couple in, And with that being said, he ended up getting stopped. He got mad at the referee, told him they shouldn't hire this man for no more championship fights. Do y'all think he should have let Keith keep going on? The way Keith got bruised up, and Keith was bruised up not on one side of his face, both sides of his face, a little bit on the top of his head too. Forehead was a little purple. Both of the eyes had some purple mice up under them, bleeding. But like he said, you know, I just needed a few more minutes. A few more minutes that would have changed the day. I don't know if that would have changed the day, changed the fight, changed the thought. He said Keith didn't even try to knock the jab down and come over the top. He felt like he had legs. Yeah, I feel you. He kept coming with the high guard, but when he made that explanation about when they were training back in the day with some of his other people that he trained with, he that's the way those guys train. From what I'm understanding, they put the gloves up, be tough, come through, and then bulldoze through. He say Fundora hand wraps need to be checked. I don't know, Gil. What they need to be checked for? Make sure he ain't got nothing in him. Okay, I'll give you. I'll let you say that. But what about the reach? You know, hand wraps don't have nothing to do with the reach. Nothing at all. He egg weights. Oh, not the egg weight scenario. We're not gonna go down the egg weight rabbit hole. That's really, come on, Gil. You just got to go ahead and give it to Fundora. I'm going to keep it real with you. You're going to have to do like I did with Earl and Crawford. You're going to have to go ahead and do that with Keith and Fundora. He just got beat. The better man won the fight that night. That's all it is. The better man put hands on him, told him go ahead and go home, go mess with somebody else. But don't come in here trying to mess with the towering inferno. All those shirts he made, now, you know, what you gonna do with your shirt that you brought about him chopping down the tree? You gonna hang it up, you gonna put it in the closet, throw it away. But what you gonna do with it? What you gonna do with it? You know, timber didn't happen. And a couple of times he knocked Keith off balance. I don't know if I was seeing things, something was in my eye. I don't think it was nothing in my eye. I just feel like the better man won the fight. Keith's game plan, he just couldn't execute it. Be it Fundora made it where he couldn't execute it, or be it his body at 37 wouldn't let him execute it. I will say he looked good circling around the ring. He was able to circle around the ring pretty much the whole time the fight lasted. So I will give him that, you know. But you know a person, you know, I give it to Keith, you know you got beat up when you start saying, maybe next time I'll go up in the mountains and train with him, because he feels like Fundora has a great gas tank and is ready to go throughout a whole fight. That's what it seems like to me when he was giving his he said I wouldn't put anything past these dudes though. Wow. You know, I don't even want to paint a picture or start to paint a picture of the fact that this man could be cheating, because the only thing I could see that is his cheat code is his height, his length. And let's not forget, he has been knocked out before. Mendoza was able to get in there. I hope I'm saying the right fighter, but Mendoza was able to get in there and knock him out. He was able to get in there. And throughout that fight, he was beating Mendoza. Mendoza just, hey, got up in there and caught him with one. And for the most part, 9 times out of 10, every time he loses, that's what's going to happen. Somebody's going to be a lot faster than him, where they can dart in, put in work, block those jabs and those hooks and get up out of there. And that uppercut, because he likes to throw an uppercut. He likes to throw the uppercut. So until one of these guys manifest those kind of powers and skills, he's going to be a problem for a minute. And we've all said at one point that this dude is going to be a problem because of his lean. So because we've all pretty much agreed on that at one point or another, let's go ahead and leave that be what it is. It's his length that's keeping people at bay. And the longer he holds this belt, and the strongest confidence is going to get. I'm gonna just keep it real. The longer he holds on to the belt, the longer the better his confidence is going to get. And if he keeps training and they keep implementing how to use his length, not getting away from his fighting on the inside, because I think that'll be a mistake, because I think as long as he keeps that fire on the inside, then they will always have a problem inside and outside. That, the better that would be the best thing for him. Don't get me wrong, old Rusty Keith wasn't going to overcome the yell of the tape. I like that. Young Keith, maybe. I agree with you on that. Younger Keith Thurman, a lot more athletic, a lot quicker, a lot more snap. That is a possibility. He could have got in there and worked it out. That is a possibility. I would give some of the blame to so much time being out the ring between fights. Some people said the time could have gave Keith a better chance at it because he wasn't so beat up. He wasn't so, he didn't go through as many battles and all that. So it was a chance that he could overcome. But you got to be able to work constantly. And during the time that he was out, we would see this was hurt, or he needed an operation on that, or, something was going on with this. And with that, it ended up getting him caught up. Champ Ross in the building. Sup, fellas? And you know what? I didn't throw your plug in and say, if you think you can call a fight, a boxing match, and you like fantasy leagues, you need to go over there and mess with my boy Champ Ross. He give first place, second place, third place cash prizes, and you get bragging rights. What's better than being able to brag that you took the money from the rest of the field? Champ Ross Fantasy Boxing League. Y'all need to go check it out. Stop playing. Man, well, when you put Taylor Yale, because isn't he supposed to be going to Yale? Is it Yale that he said he was going to? Fundora, that is. So I thought you was making a play off of him saying he's going to college. He got accepted into college. But anyway, he handled his business against Keith. One time, Thurman, he didn't duck him. We got to get that title back to the States. You talking about the heavyweight title? We're going to have to get to that. We're going to have to get to that in a minute. If that's what you're talking about, Champ Ross. You're talking about the heavyweight titles? Or somebody got the title in Champ Ross that's over there with Yasser? Is that what you're saying? Help me clear it up for me. Let me know what it is that you're saying so I know. But, enjoy watching Keith while the one time moniker lasted. But the Champ Ross title. Okay. Who got it? Overseas. I thought y'all let me know who got it that's over there. But yeah, we got to get that back over here to the States, man. We can't be letting stuff we cannot be letting things get taken away from us over here. It's supposed to be here. Champ Ross is a U.S. citizen. Don't be letting them come over here and take the hardware, man. Come on now. Don't let them come over here and take the hardware. I got to get a better camera. I see that right now. My camera is crazy. I got one, but it won't hook up. I got to find a plug for it to see how it go. I'm talking about the lead title. Went to Tom Parser from the UK. Napoleon took it back to the States last year. I don't even know Tom. But congratulations, Tom, on becoming a champion in Champ Ross's Fantasy Boxing League. Congratulations to you. But enjoy it. Enjoy it because the field is going to get tightened up. They're going to tighten up. They're going to go to the drawing boards and get it together. So be ready to defend. Be ready to defend. I'm happy and proud to say that, the Block fam got the first champion. I think he was the first champion representing over here. Trey X was the first champion So and then we had some other people fall through. We got the Kane, Joe Brown, Gil Cole. How high have you in? We got some representatives over here. My boy Eric Arden went on and did his thing. So yeah, be ready, Tom, because they coming. Oh, he represents Wales. He from Facebook. Okay. Well, you tell him I said when if you don't mind. I salute him at doing his thing. Moody Trey weathered and slid into the house. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I heard Eric Arden been killing it. I congratulated him the other last night or night before last. Days and nights been blending in together for me because of the work that's been going on. But I'm enjoying it. But nobody ain't told me yet who they think could come in and do something with the Towering Inferno. I'm having a hard time placing my finger on somebody that I'm thinking that might can come rip the belt from me. And like I said, looking at old footage of young Charlo and then hearing him speak now, I'm like, this dude on the cool, either jealous or been hating on Earl and his brother for a minute. And it could be because he was the first one to take a loss. Could be that. And so many people, for whatever reason, could be just the way Earl carries himself, that Earl got a lot of love. Big brother hasn't taken a loss, but I'm just saying, looking at if y'all go back and look at him in some at times where Earl and his brother are together, sometimes with Derrick James, just look how he looking at them. When people talk to him and stuff, look how he cut his eyes at them, you know what I'm saying? And then he'll either flex or say something to kind of get the attention back on him. And from where I come from and what I'm used to, when that kind of thing goes down, that person is either holding something inside against you for whatever reason. Like I said, it could be for the simple fact that he was the first one to take a loss. Could be that. But, they fighters. And I don't think that I don't know which one he is. I can't think of if I want to call him Jamel or Jamal. Jamel, I think it's Jamel. I don't think Jamel can beat Fundora. I don't think that he can come close to beating Fundora. Well, he been out the ring for a minute, and that being out the ring with these guys, it's not equaling up. Your ass, excuse me, your butt been out the ring for so long, and then you think you can come back and you're gonna still be on the same level. You haven't proved that kind of greatness to me anyway. It's Mel. Okay. Mel, you haven't showed me that greatness. You showed good. You showed me good. You haven't shown me great. And I think that's a fair assessment to say that he's shown me good, but not great. So I don't think that he'll be able to go in there and rip the belts. Rip the belt away from Fundora. I don't think he can do it. I'll give you a chance. My boy Eric Arden slid into the house. Oh, snap. What's up, man? And congratulations once again. Congratulations once again for bringing your stock up over there in Champ Ross. Got to give it to you. Salute to you. Say Fundora looked unstoppable versus this version of Key. So people are often, people are often running. I'm not gonna put him in the Hall of Fame, not yet. He has to prove that. He has to prove. He said MZ done become Hollywood. How I become Hollywood? No, sir. No, sir. Not me. Not me. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna put him in the Hall of Fame and say that he can just whoop everybody. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying at this moment, out of the guys that are running around, I'm really not sure who can deal with the long range. The only one I'm kind of looking at is that I was saying that probably had the best chance would probably be Boots, but I'm not sure. He seems to be the one that's the most athletic. I can't ride with Mel, but for the simple reason he's been out the ring so long. And let's be honest, Mel don't really have that much head movement either. He doesn't have a lot of head movement either. there still isn't like that super A plus fighter at 154 with these guys, you know, B pluses, A minuses, yes. But I don't know. Question is, will Fundora take a risk versus these other guys and not the PBC retirement party guys? Xander, Boots, Virgil. I think Fundora fights Tellis. I would hope because you bringing up the PBC, that's that the PBC guys, and him being the PBC guy, that does kind of tilt the scale a little bit because they're under the I heard his dad say that, you know, that we loyal to PBC. We loyal to PBC, and the last fighter, one of the last fighters that I heard boasting his loyalty to the PBC, two of them actually, was Earl and Tank. When Earl did step out of the ring of PBC to fight Terrence Crawford, which I'm gonna go ahead and say I do agree with a lot of you guys that was telling me that the PBC was trying to protect Earl. I do believe that now because hey, he was the one that was pushing for the fight. They weren't pushing for it as hard. They was pushing for anybody and everybody but Terrence Crawford. They tried to throw Keith Thurman out there so many times, and he just kept saying, "Nah, I'm not. I don't think me and Keith gonna fight." And I saw him again on another video as of late saying that he don't think they gonna fight. So that's the fight that we will probably never get. You know what I'm saying? That's the fight that we probably won't ever get. So they don't need me to waste my time thinking about that. I think an unorthodox perky jerky Boots can confuse and catch Fundora. Herky jerky. Yeah, I feel you. That he said, "Thank you, bro. I tried to get the belt." Hey, let me not say nothing. You did your thing. You know, we can't win them all. You know, the belt is over there in Wales right now. We just got to come together, get a plan, and snatch it back. PBC was looking to serve EJ to Canelo. Yeah, I remember when they was talking about that some time back. But the way things turned out, it just turned out the way it did. Terrence Crawford went out there and whooped that boy, and that's what it is. What y'all think about Ryan Garcia, who I believe he knows Terrence Crawford is seriously retired and not really thinking about coming back? He said he got enough money, he good, he's happy, he's spending time with his kids, his family, and things like that. And I think Ryan Garcia is using this opportunity in this moment to run his mouth, talking about how he could see Crawford. He better keep hoping that man don't come back just to see him, because he can upset him and mess around and get himself beat up real good. But anyway, I'm not going to even waste my time on that pretend type thing. So far, there's more than one person that's agreed with me that Boots probably is the best person to be able to go ahead and attack Fundora. You think his irky jerkiness would be one of the things to help confuse Fundora. And that is a possibility, unless Fundora keeps himself at the distance where he'll have Boots at the end of his punches where he can see what's happening. Remember, it's a nice little distance that you got to clear. And I'm not making it seem like he across the yard where he got to clear it, but it's a nice distance for him to be able to sit back and see what's going on, and he's looking down at what's popping off. So the view for a taller person looking down on a shorter person, there's a lot more that you pick up and see. Not saying that it can't happen, because Mendoza made us understand and recognize that it can happen. But I don't know, man. One thing about fighting Fundora, you're gonna have to make some take some punishment to get yours in. And it looks like he has to be a fighter who fights mid-range to inside from Fundora. Can extend the arms though. But here's the funny thing: Fundora does well on the inside. Some kind of way he still get leverage on those punches. He throws good uppercuts on the inside and good hooks on the inside. So I understand what you're saying, but He turns on the washing machine when they get close. So who's ever going to go in there, they're going to have to be well equipped and adapt. They're going to have to be good on the inside with catching and making sure they don't get damaged while they trying to inflict damage. So I agree with you 100% on that. But right now, the only thing you can judge a fighter on is their last work. They last works. And yes, we're judging Fundora on his last works against Keith Thurman. And it's mainly because Keith Thurman's name and not because Keith Thurman went out there and really showed anything. Sorry, Gil Coles, I'm just telling the truth. He wasn't able to go out there and get off. He wasn't able to get off. And I'm gonna attribute some of that to him being out the ring for a good minute. But other than that, I don't know what else we can say about it except, Fundora looking good right now for where he is in his career. Is that the best way? Can I put it like that? That Fundora looks good for where he is in his career right now. Anybody with unfinished business with Rolly should not be allowed to speak on anyone outside of his tax bracket. Well, if you're talking about Ron Garcia, he has unfinished business with Rolly and Devin. But I didn't really give him no weight. Him talking about Crawford and all that, what's the best thing to do? If you're gonna talk about somebody who ain't around no more. He wasn't really. I don't remember him really jacking his jaws like that when Crawford was active. Unless Crawford was getting ready to fight somebody, he might throw a slick, subtle jab every once in a while at him. But for the most part, nah, he stay out the way. Fundora ducked that buzz smoke and Tim Zoo fell apart. Now the coast is almost clear for him versus good names from the last era. Well, one of the reasons that he didn't take the fight with Bud was because Zoo PBC participant, which I saw Bud in the interview saying, they wasn't finna let that happen. He'd already whooped Earl. We're not finna let him do that to us again. So yeah, I agree with you on that. That you say almost like the Ranger Spence type style, maybe. Ooh. It would be most definitely, in my opinion, hard for Spence to beat Fundora. Once again, I have to say it. Spence is also a guy who really doesn't move his head off the line. You don't get a lot of head movement from him either. Charlo, not a lot of head movement. Spence, not a lot of head movement. The only one that I would say has some head movement, and we complained about him getting touched a little bit too much, was Boots. But for the most part, if they're gonna sit there and let this dude snipe from a distance, he gonna pick them apart all day. They got to figure out, whoever it is going to have to figure out, which I was saying for Keith before the fight came on, dude, you got to get in, put in some work, and get back out. And that's going to have to be how you eat in a fight with Fundora. You're going to have to get in, steal some food off the plate, and then get back out, make sure things are correct for you, and do it again. And you have to do that throughout 10 rounds, throughout 12 rounds, in order to pull off a victory, unless you get a shot like Mendoza did and put him down and keep him down. Fundora needs to change his name to Biggie Smalls. I'll make him wear a Ric Flair robe that says you got to bring some ass to get some on the back. Now let that man be the Tyrant Inferno. Him and his sister doing their thing right now. They're getting the brag every time they go out there and connect the win. They add to their little bit of the history book. But Hall of Fame for Fundora, no, he hasn't done enough. There hasn't been enough work done by him for some Hall of Fame talk. So I won't get that. I feel you, Champ Ross. You're just saying style wise is a shot, but they're gonna have to add some head movement to that. They're going to have to add some head movement to that. He said Fundora. Moody said Fundora versus anybody at 154. I'm putting on Fundora. Wow. He put money on Fundora. I got you, but you know it's still really good. But I'm putting on Fundora. I'm sure everybody understands what that meant. But with that being said, you know, do you think Keith is going to even come back? He said he's going to fight some more. You say he'll be a Hall of Famer when it's said and done. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible he could go on a losing streak. You know, people could figure it out. I'm not going to say anything. They're promoting Fundora like he's his kids. The Fundora's like they his kids. Protection plan. Well, he's getting paid to do his job. If he's doing his job like that and he's doing it well, what can we say? All we can say is whoever is the next person that's going to sign the contract to fight, they're going to have to bring some sauce. They're going to have to bring some sauce. They're going to have to have their hard hat and their lunch pail because they're going to have to go in there and put in some work. Like I said, the boy seems to be getting, his confidence seems to be rising with every fight. That knockout, I can't remember if it was Roy or SOG. I can't remember who it was that said that knockout, and it could have been that Caucasian guy from Fight Hype. It could have been him, but somebody made a statement that was like that knockout of Fundora could possibly have been the best thing for him. It was somebody in the crowd. It was an interviewer that was asking the question. I think it was at the post fight. That said that knockout might have been the best thing for you. Don't forget Fundora dropped 2 belts already. Yes, I mentioned that. He was saying that, you know, he probably win the belt, drop the belt, let them fight for the belt, and then fight the guy that won the belt and keep it moving. If he could find a way to put weight on his lower body, he might be able to go up to 160, 168, and possibly 175 if stopped there. He spoke on they asked him about going up, but his answer was, no, I'm not moving up because there's a lot of good fights here at 154 for me. So it's no need for me to go up because there's a lot of talent here. I'm paraphrasing the talent part, but he did say that it's not a thought for him to go move up to 160 or anything like that. And, you know, he a slim dude. His sister a slim dude. You see they got a metabolism that just not letting them gain weight like that. You know, I know how that could be. I've been a slim dude for a long time in my life, and weight just, you know, you be eating up everything. I mean, everything: potatoes, rice, cornbread, ham hocks, neck bones, anything and everything that I can get in. I was getting in. I just made 230, and I'm up in age now. And that 230 probably because I'm up in age and I just slowed down a little bit. So he said he ain't thinking about moving up. He's going to stay at 154. And wreak havoc as best he can until somebody comes and dethrone him. Shoot, what else? What would you know if you can't gain the weight? You know what would you do? You stay down there and keep beating up people that's coming to take your belt. But I did find it. I did hear him say, Champ Ross, that, you know, he win the belts. He probably dropped the W because he loves the WBC. He said he loves the WBC. So we'll probably look up and he'll be to drop the other belts. He get his wins in, he dropped the other belts and go at it like that. Which I said was pretty gangster. You know, you beat up somebody, you take their belt, then say, you know what, I'm going to drop this belt, let somebody else fight for it. Next person win the belt, IBF champion. Come on, let me beat you up, take your belt. Now I'm going to drop your belt. Now, yeah, mix it up. Y'all mix it up. You know, the only thing that's more gangster is being undisputed. Being undisputed. You know, that to me, that's the top of the top. But it is pretty gangster. And you know, that's kind of like telling cats, you know what? I'm going to whoop you. I'm going to hold my WBC because I don't plan on losing to none of y'all. That's pretty much how I'm gaining from it. You know, I don't plan on losing to none of y'all. But if I take your belt, what I will do for you is drop your belt. Let whoever it is out there next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let them fight for it. Then y'all come see me. Come on and see me so I can bust you up, beat up on you, take your belt, send you home to mama, and we just keep the process going. Ty decided I'm gonna retire and go ahead and go to Yale and get this degree and chunk deuces to y'all. That's what it seemed like he's saying to me. So who's going to be able to come up there and dismantle this man and knock his butt off the throne? That's the question. That is the question. And the strongest opponent, the strongest person that I can think of right now, in my humble opinion, is Boots. And I'm glad he's finally getting ready to fight Xander Zayas, because like I said, I was in my mind, I was starting to think that, dang, it is taking a long time for Boots to get another fight, and a fight that's going to be substantial enough for people to be like, okay, this is a good fight. Let's make it happen. But I'm ready to see this man start to get some work in, and he needs to start getting it in regularly, because he really stands a chance to be a star. Not just Boots, like we talk about. He stands a chance to be a star. I think Boots will beat Virgil. And I think Fundora will beat Virgil. Like I said, I have to look at him a little more to deepen my thoughts on it before. So I won't just say I think Fundora will beat Virgil. I think Boots has the better chance because I think he's more athletic. But at the same time, I can't take away from what Fundora has been doing or has done since he's been knocked out. Nobody's been able to push the issue to get on the inside to replicate what Mendoza done. And partially because, I have to say mainly because Fundora is not allowing that now. He's not allowing people to just get in there on the inside all willy-nilly and knock him out. He said, I love Xander versus Boots because if Xander comes up short, it's still great for him going forward. Yeah, Boots is both of them young, which is something that we always ask for these young fighters to go ahead and mix it up and get it going. That would be a shocker, because a lot of people are thinking that Boots is going to be able to handle his business. But if Xander go out there and make a great showing for himself, that brings his stocks up very much so. But if he wins, just think of how people would be going crazy and losing their minds. They would be just, I don't know. But then if Boo takes a loss, then they'll be talking about, see, I told you he wasn't what you thought he was and all this. It's kind of a double-edged sword for him. He beat Xander, okay, great. You beat Xander. Xander wasn't ready. You know how the boxing fans are fickle like that, and they do that kind of thing. They talk one side and then they talk the other side. Just like they shot on Bud because he retired. Oh, he should have went up to do this. But then when he was fighting, nobody would fight him. And so it's hard to say. But I'll tell you, I started to come on here earlier so I could give Yassinim a chance to get up, but I overslept. I was going to do a show at like 10 o'clock this morning. That would have been good enough for Yassir and them to be over there on the other side of the pond and be able to catch you. So my bad, Yass. I get it together. Like I said, I overslept. When I did get up, I had some visitors at the house. My cousin came through to visit me and my wife. My daughters, they came to the new house while I was at work, so I didn't get a chance to kick it with them. But I got to come home and see these fights. Boots, Virgil. What's the other dude's name? No, it is Virgil. It's hot in here. So now that we didn't give Keith his I didn't rag on him too much, Gil Coles. I did not just beat up on him and say anything disrespectful. He lost. I figured he was. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't even bet on this fight. I didn't even bet that he was gonna lose, which I felt like he was gonna lose. So I kept it 100 with you. I tried to give him I tried to break down the best way I could that I thought he could win. And my thoughts for any of these guys to beat Fundora is to be able to get inside and work him. And maybe they might have to get a little rough. You know, maybe they might, as you would say, might be a little borderline dirty, but they're going to have to get in there in order to inflict the damage. But at the same time, you got to be in there trying to dodge the damage that's going to be coming. Now, if it's a possibility that somebody can get in there and put something on him hard enough to shake him up where he don't want to let go, it may Thurman was just older and a lot smaller. I feel you, Moody Trayweather, but think about it. They all a lot smaller. The only person, the next size up, closest size up is Charlo, but he been out the ring for so long, and he ain't that young no more either. You know what I'm saying? So, like, who was it that said? You mean the road might be looking clear where Fundora could be on a slight roll where the fights, you know, it's gonna be hard to find him a challenger that's gonna really bring what he needs to bring. He fighting somebody the same height as Kobe that's learning, even, you know, like I said, learning how to use his length and keep that jab out there like that. And he seemed to have good hand-eye coordination because he was landing on Keith. That could be because, like I said, you need head movement, especially with something like Fundora, who got the reach. Like, you really need head movement. I won't say he's just super fast, because he's not. At least he don't seem to be super fast. But it would help if people got off the line. You got to get off the line. We heard that so many times. You got to get off the line. You don't want to just keep getting peppered all night. Get your ass off the line. I'm sorry. Get your head off the line. Start, you know, you got to catch and shoot, or catch, get in, and then shoot. But some kind of way, y'all got to figure out how to get in there and shoot. And I don't mean get in there and shoot with no 22. You need to go in there with a 44 or 45, something heavy that's going to make him recognize that you have been there, make him leery of you getting in there where he'll make a mistake, where you can start capitalizing. But you got to cut him down from his volume punching. You know, he stays busy. Got a high motor. He got a high put out rate. That's a problem. A high put out rate that's accurate is a problem. How do you negate that? You know what I'm saying? I hear people saying you gotta block the jab, slip the jab. Yeah, you do. But as you're doing that, you got to be able to get in there and put that work in. Keith wasn't able to do that. The best Keith was able to do mainly was circle. And at one point, he was circling the wrong way. He was circling into the power, into the danger zone. He was circling to the danger zone. So, you know, like I said, Keith talked a great game. He just was not able to carry out the game plan. And that saddens me a little bit because Gil Coles loved Keith as a fighter. But, you know, you got your pets, your pet Keith. He's still good. Is it Keith and Earl? You need to train a ninja with power, with Tyson style to do it. Well, you got at least enough pop to make him leery once you get in there and you dig into that midsection. He got a lot. It's a lot to work with in that middle. But at the same time, this dude arms are like levers. You know how you see the those levers with the joints that bend and flex. He got arms like that where, you know, he can get an uppercut in close. He can hook close with such long arms. It's almost it's like crazy how he can work on the inside. But it works. It really works. You know, when we first started seeing him, he was loving to be on the inside. But now that he added the outside game since being knocked out, and I got to keep going to the knocked out because that's what, in my opinion, is bringing him to using his range. Which everybody was like, yeah, you got to learn how to use your range. You got to learn how to use your range. Well, now we made him, him using his range has made him that much more dangerous. It's made him that much more dangerous. Now, cats got to go out there and be like, it ain't just on the inside that you got to worry about. It's the outside, which at one point you could be like, I can get in, work and get out, and don't really have to worry about nothing because he wants to fight on the inside. But now you get to the outside, you got to make sure you out of the distance for him to touch you. He got that Dahazen reach from Street Fighter. Yoga fire. You know what I'm saying? He reaching folks. And oh man, Moses Itauma versus Jermaine Franklin. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, he do. Oh, like Street Fighter 2. I thought he wasn't on Street Fighter 1. Forgive me, it's been a long time. But yeah, it is what it is. Street Fighter, Dahazen, whichever one it is, he got that reach. But Moses Itauma stopping Jermaine Franklin. I had a feeling he could drop Franklin. I didn't know if he would stop him. I guess in the back of my mind, I kind of had a feeling. But I thought Franklin would probably get dropped and then correct that and go into the mode of I'm not getting knocked out. Go into that mode. But Moses was just so much faster on his feet with his punching, with his getting out of the way of punches coming back. Franklin was just too slow. And I would like to see Itauma and Fabio. Moses is scary. He gave me some glimpses, in my opinion, of some Usyk, the way he was doing that up down that up down, going to the body. And I mean, nice solid punches going to the body. But when he was swinging for the head, it looked like he was really trying to put in that knock you out right out the gate. And to be just 21, you know what I'm saying? This guy has, in my opinion, he has a high ceiling to be dreadful at heavyweight. And I was going through my mind and thinking, the big guys that we've seen, let's just throw F.A. Jogba out there. Will F.A. be able to deal with him? I think he might be a little too fast for F.A. Even though F.A. is one of the guys that I've seen a lot of growth in F.A., but I think it'll be a hard pill for him to swallow if he step in the ring with Itauma. Fabio Wardley was the closest one that I could think of straight out the gate that would be that, because Itauma doesn't seem to be, he's not a real big heavyweight, but he got a good enough height. He seems to be just heavy enough, but his hand speed is ridiculous to be a heavyweight of the ones that we're seeing right now today. Daniel Dubois, I think he would have a hard go with Itauma. I think that would be a hard go. I just think this young man has a high ceiling that he's gonna be dangerous. He's gonna be dangerous out there in the heavyweight division for a long time. That uppercut, oh my goodness, that uppercut was so pretty. And the way Franklin fell out, it looked like a cartoon. The way he caught him, and then like when he stepped back, it's like they stopped to look at it for a second while he wobbled and get ready to fall down. Moses caught him one more time. Referee went on, called it off. Who's the boss? In my Trey X voice. But yeah, from the opening bell, you could see the hand speed was different. Now, mind you, Jermaine Franklin got in about 4 or 5 good shots. The first shot that he got in, that was a good shot. Your boy Moses laughed or smiled at him like, yeah, that was a good one. And then he went to giving it back. But he started off tenderizing that body, which was smart. He started off tenderizing that body, let Franklin know that you got to deal with upstairs and downstairs. Because he worked both equally, in my opinion. He worked the upstairs and the downstairs equally. And Franklin had to deal with that. And he really didn't have an answer. Tough, I give him that. Franklin tough, but when the speed is like that and you try to return or try to counter, and this man is out the way fast enough to where he can see your counter, then yeah, you're gonna be in for a long night. And Franklin not one of those kind of fighters that when he started taking the damage that he wrapped up. His fight or flight was, I'm gonna fight. He tried to fight out of it, which didn't mold well for him at all. But he did make it to round 7? He did make it to round 7, but he said the uppercut looked like straight from fight night round 2. It was just, he caught him with a couple of uppercuts though. So it wasn't surprising that he knocked him out with one, because when they were up against the ropes, or when you're looking at your TV and they was up against the ropes closest to the screen, he caught him with one. And then he caught him with one from the right side of the screen. And he caught him with one on, he had caught him with like 3 of them before he caught him with the one that ended the show. And yeah, he was popping his head pretty good, when he got some solid landings on him. He was going to the body though, Eric. He worked that body. He went upstairs and downstairs equally, like I said. But he gave me, I almost wanted to call somebody and ask, does he train with Usyk or the Lomachenko, Papa Lomachenko or something? Because that up down, I'm telling you, the way he was doing it, it just put me in the mind of Usyk or Lomachenko, where he go up to the top and fake up, fake down. He got to Franklin so much to when he faked Franklin, you could see Franklin flinching, trying to guess where it was coming. And heck, when he guessed wrong, you knew it. When he guessed wrong, you knew it, because he was picking that man. He was picking him apart. And he's another fighter that I have to look at and be like, wow, the stage is set for him to become great, to have some great fights, because every fight you're gonna be looking at, you should be looking at now is, how's this guy going to deal with it? How's who's going to be able to come in there and shut him down, make him have to think more. But like I said, if you're gonna get him and you feel like you can get him and you got that kind of attitude, you best jump on him now, because he's just 21. He's still young in the game, so you best jump on him now, because the more seasoning he get, gonna be like some jerk chicken. At one point, he's gonna have that he's gonna be just fire, and nobody gonna want to be able to deal with it. Yeah, he flinched. He said, I flinched. You was flinching too? Damn. He was whooping Franklin that bad. He had you flinching, Eric. I ain't gonna lie, man. It was nice to behold some action like that. It was just pretty, the uppercut. That was just pretty, but the hand speed, good foot movement, good head movement as far as getting out the way of punches that Franklin was sending back. But like I said, he was so much faster than Franklin, so much more athletic than Franklin, that Franklin looked like, you usually say a half step behind. Franklin looked like he was a whole step behind. He was a full whole step behind in that fight. You kind of knew from round, pick around here, you kind of knew he if he had caught up with him and landed something big, that would have been surprising. That would have been surprising. I was going to say shocking, but it would have been surprising. The mere fact that this man was just that much faster than him says it all. It says it all. You know, that's a fighter that people gonna have to come. They're gonna have to come on with it. It's not gonna be an easy lay down. It's not gonna be an easy lay down, unless he just comes to the ring and just not respect what's in front of him and get caught slipping like that. But for the most part, Moises Itauma is gonna be an issue. He gonna be an issue if they get Boots back rolling. If they get him back on track where he can start fighting and quit messing around, he could be a star. He gonna be a problem, I believe. Charlo with this comeback stuff, you know, bro. Who? I don't think coming in trying to mess with Fundora right out the gate is a smart thing. And what happened to the fight he was supposed to be having? He was going to have a fight. Now all of a sudden his fight got pulled off. Why is he getting pulled out of fights? Does anybody know? I don't know. Why is his fights not falling? You know, not coming through like they saying they supposed to. But you know, life is life. Boxing is boxing, and the world is going through what it's going through. But I enjoyed to see what I got a chance to see. All my bets didn't come through like they needed to. But I did bet on Itauma in round 1, 2, and 3. I bet that he would win those 3 rounds right out the gate. I had a bet that he was going to win by decision, but I also took some money that no, that wasn't it. I just bet the decision, and I also bet on round 1, 2, and 3. So I won on the 1, 2, and 3. I didn't get the decision and the fight going the distance, so I lost those 2. He got the decision with a knockout, but that's not what I picked. So yeah, it is what it is. He knew he was going night. I was. Oh, you say you knew he was going night. You was a round off. Dang. But you know, sometimes we get it right all the way. Sometimes, you know, we get it right a little bit. At least I got something off the first 3 rounds. So I ain't complaining about that. I got something off the first 3 rounds. I got something off of each one of the fights, pretty much. Only one I didn't get to the only one I didn't get because they weren't giving me the odds that I was looking for was what my notes said. One of the fights they wasn't giving me what I needed. That's a shit. No, that's not it. My bad, y'all. I'm checking some stuff. Oh, my car insurance due. I got to pay that in the morning. He said, Chisora Wilder, who you got? You know what? I looked up and that's right in my face. I'm going to be honest with you, Champ Ross. I'm leaning more toward Chisora than I am Wilder because of what Wilder showed me in his last few fights. You know, I don't see that fire in his eyes like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? When he was first knocking people out and bomb squad, all that kind of stuff. You know, he had a fire to him, but as of lately, I don't see that fire. So if I had to go out there and right now just give it to you with just bang, this is what it is, I would have to say Chisora. I would have to say Chisora because Chisora is going to let his hands go. Wilder wasn't letting his hands go when he fought Parker. You know, he wasn't really letting his hands go. And I don't see anything about him, or I hear him talking, but I hear him saying the right things. But for some reason, I'm not getting that feeling that I don't get that. I don't get that roar out of him. I don't feel like that fire is. I think it's smoldering now. I don't think it's a raging fire anymore. I think it's like more like smoldering, like a charcoal instead of a big piece of wood just flamed up. It's more like a charcoal, just there smoldering and glowing like that. You know, enough fire to keep you warm, not burn you up. And that's what I'm getting out of. I'm sorry, that's what I'm getting out of Wilder right now. Love what he did when he was doing it. Hate that he went through what he went through with Fury. But when he came back, Zilly Zane and Joseph Parker, I didn't see I just didn't see him letting his hands go enough. Not even the right hand, you know. It just seemed like he was throwing the right hand with any conviction, you know, like he used to. So with that being said, you know, it could go either way. It could. He could come out there and catch your sword like he did Hellenius. When Hellenius was pushing him up against the ropes, he could come out and was it Hellenius? I think it was Hellenius. When he caught him up, you know, when Wilder was up against the ropes, he threw the short, I guess you could say a short right that put Hellenius down. But I don't know. Chisora has always been willing to let his hands go. He hasn't been been to the point where he won't let his hands go. So I see you say it can go either way. Both are chinny too. Yeah, okay. But with that part, I don't know, man. I'm gonna just be honest. If I had to lean either way, I would have to say I'm gonna lean toward Chisora. I'm probably gonna lean towards Chisora. I would be rooting for Wilder because I know what he said he wants to do and he wants to come back and be a champion again. But the landscape is dangerous now. It ain't what it was, you know. Itauma is coming into his own. Daniel Dubois, I think Daniel Dubois would give Wilder a hell of a time. You know. So I don't know, man. I'm sketchy with him and Anthony Joshua now. You know, I think a lot have been taken out of him in the Fury fights. Honestly, and then he went on the trip to take what y'all call it, ashwagandha or whatever. Then, you know, finding out the stuff he found out with his brother, that could tell, you know, with his family, the things he went through with the young lady, all that can steal from you. And, you know, he comfortable, you know, he got money and stuff, so he comfortable training hard and all that stuff. You know, we hear what these fighters say, but the ones that really do that, you see it. I don't see it with him anymore. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna be going with Chisora. He said Chisora probably has a higher chance of recovering when hurt. I don't like how long it takes Wilder to recover. I could feel you on that. Because when Zane caught him, you know, I'm still tripping on the fact that Zane caught him and it looked like he turned around like, who threw that in the ring? And turned around and got knocked out. He wasn't letting his hands go with Parker. I don't even think Parker put him in danger as far as ringing his bell. He just wasn't letting his hands go with Parker. And that's not gonna mold well at all, you know, especially if he let Chisora start feeling himself and getting into a rhythm. But you know, we have to see how it goes. You know, has he gotten back? Who training Wilder? Let me ask that question first. Who's even training him? You know, you got away from the jab. You fell in love with the right hand. He just got away from everything that made him, in my opinion. You know, because he used to fight, you know, he used to use that jab, but he got away from that. He went straight to just right hand, you know, every once in a while. And Lala D, what's up, sis? You in the house? You a little late, but you in here. What's going on, sis? I seen your video with talking about TLC concert, and if Trump MAGA fans, Trump supporters are gonna support the concert and all that. But yeah, you doing your thing. But I thought it was funny that you saying that they busted Chile, sending money to Trump, supporting Trump like that. That's crazy wild. But since you're here, who you got with Wilder and Chisora? Who you think gonna win? That question was just asked. And she's saying hello to everyone. Sending out that love. Glad to see sis doing her thing. I love to hear her voice talk. She just reminds me of, don't take this the wrong way, sis, but your voice reminds me of Betty Boop. That cartoon. You got, if you did some voiceovers, you would have an iconic voice. You could do some great voiceovers, I think, for some kind of animated show. I think you would be a shoe-in. But Champ Ross, yeah, I'm going with Chisora, man. I'm going with Chisora. Cause Wilder just hasn't shown me that he has that fire in him. Chisora, even though he's been through some wars, he shows that he still, in my opinion, has that fire in him. And not only to mention, they being real super friendly with each other. You know why? They being super friendly with each other. And Chisora might use that to his advantage, you know, disarm Wilder, make you think, yeah, I love you like a brother, but when we get in that ring, which they were saying when we get in the ring, we're going to whoop him down, but Wilder is down to the 24-hour fitness trainer. Dang, that's cold. So he just go to the 24 hours fitness training and get trained. That's messed up because Malik not hey, la la dee. Boo boo do. Malik not training him anymore, right? So dang, who is training who's training Deontay Wilder? What's up, son? You woke, you missed your cousin. He burned off, but he was trying to say hi to you before he left. Lafi, what's up? You trying to go grab something? Huh? Oh, you know, I'm in here talking to my peoples in here and doing it. Oh my gosh. My boy the Kane is in the house. Plug Associations, he say 78 Sports is training Wilder. Well, that's automatic loss. That's automatic loss. Dang, not 78 though, bro. Chili told you she ain't want no scrubs. And she told everybody she ain't want no scrubs. But that didn't mean she had to go and pay the orange man to help him do a thing. La D, you picking Wilder? And don't let me say you picking Wilder like that. Cause you know I like Wilder, but he don't have a fight. He just don't seem the same to me. He not rah-rah. Like he not the Wilder like he used to be, man. He like, oh, you know, I'm cool. I still got it. You know, he too laid back for me. I need that monster to come out of him. I need that monster to come out of him. That's what I need to come out of him. And then, you know, if you go out there and really try to hammer on Chisora, then maybe he can pull me back in. But other than that, he said never knew scrubs was cold for Democrats. He said Wilder's testosterone is low. Wow. Maybe they got something for that. He could take a pill or something. I don't know. This time, day of age, everybody, not everybody, but people was popping pills and all, drinking concoctions and all kind of stuff. He say, no, the general of YouTube Wakanda, is Blue going to help too? Blue blood? Oh, man, y'all going out there now. So first he worked at 24-hour fitness. I mean, training at 24-hour fitness, and then you got 78 Sports training him. Now you want to throw Blue blood in there? Y'all trying to get this man destroyed. I don't want to see him get destroyed. I want to see him have a good showing. But I have to be honest and be real with the fact that I think he's going to lose to Chisora. And y'all haven't heard me say when it come to Wilder, you know, I was always riding with Wilder. He could pull it off against Fury. Even though Fury had cheated, he could still pull it off against Fury. You know, y'all, I roll with this man 3 fights in a row against Fury. But I got to keep it real. Since he went off and took the stuff to be spiritual and get in touch with himself and fell in love with old girl and all that kind of stuff, when he showed back up, he wasn't the same. He was different. Everything had changed. No more bomb squad. No more nothing. It was the bomb squad was that was the call to let me know that the boy was ready to go, but it's gone. It's more like, bomb squad. That ain't it. He said, wait, I'm always afraid Chisora gonna end up eating through a straw these fights. Speech already too slurred. Well, Champ Ross did say it could go either way. He did say it could go either way. But I think all the wars in Wilder left in the Fury fight. I think Chisora has to worry that there could be a ample amount of danger in the fight. But he didn't let his hands go against Zhang, really. He definitely didn't let his hands go against Joseph Parker. So what make me believe that he gonna let his hands go truly against Chisora? He said Malik gave Wilder that blue chew, and he ain't been the same since. Wow. Blue chew. Blue chew. It'll get you ready. Except for when you need to go out there and knock somebody's dome off. He needs a Jake Paul clause. Oh, no. Not a Jake Paul's clause in the contract. No headshots. Come on now. I ain't saying the dude is not still a warrior. I'm just saying he not the warrior that I would say, you front line. He more like the warrior that's like 2-3 rows behind the front line. And I'm not making fun or nothing. I'm just like, Zhang and who? Oh, Zhang and Parker are much better boxers than Chisora, though. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Kane. But at the same time, do you think Wilder gonna let his hands go where he can snatch the dub? Because Chisora said it's number 50 for him. He out. And he's saying that he gonna make Wilder retire with him. So he throwing a double. He's saying he throwing a double retirement party, one for himself and one for Wilder. And understanding that Zhang and Parker are better boxers than Chisora, my main question is Wilder going to let his hands go? If he come out there and start pumping the jab and working like that, working off the jab, and then shooting that right hand, I would be like, I stand corrected. Yeah, go Wilder. But I don't see that coming. I would be ecstatic for it to happen. I would love to see him get a win with a good knockout. I would love to see that because they both touting that it's not going the distance. But as much as I like Wilder, I don't know, man. I don't know. Chisora could come in there fighting on the inside and give Wilder problems, but if he lets up and gives Wilder room to throw the bomb, he out of there. Yeah, because Wilder's not good on the inside at all. I'm sorry, he's not fantastic on the inside at all. He's not a Fundora on the inside. He said, I'd be more confident with Wilder if he ran it back with Charlie Z. Whoa. Now, I ain't going to disrespect him like that, Eric Carr. I'm not going to do that to him. I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that he goes out there and he tries to, if he works behind the jab, just bring the jab back. You know, it's not like he was working with a lot of different things, but if he comes back and bring the jab back to keep Chisora at bay, where he could possibly land that bomb, then I can see with the Kane going. I can see him possibly getting the stoppage by knocking him out. But if he doesn't do that, then what? Salute y'all. Salute all just want to drop in and say what's up. I will catch the replay. Got to be up at 4 a.m. That's coming from my brother D-Lo 404 Boxing, the voice of reason, the man to make you think outside the box when it comes to these fighters and their fights and what they bring to the table. Salute to you, bro, and I understand. Catch the replay. You pretty much always do. I'll give you that 100%. But you can't. That's the best I can do, man. I can't run it off like y'all talked about me last time. Y'all made fun of me because of Caleb Plant. Because I ride so hard with him, and I want to ride hard with Wilder, but I've learned my lesson. And who else was he? It's another fighter that I'm like, give the man his little props, give him his little props. But if Wilder could come out there and pump the jab, don't let your sword get inside and rough him up, he'll be all right. But the puzzle still to me is, who is this man's trainer? That's the puzzle to me. And what is he going to bring to the table with Wilder? Let me see if I can find out who is his trainer. Who is Deontay Wilder's trainer? Don House is saying that he's training with Don House. Anybody know who Don House is? He need to get Roy Jones. He's bitching you out. And I saw that, bro. I said, wait a minute. He said, Plant is your Keith Thurman, MZ. My Keith Thurman compared to Gil Cole. That's what you're saying. Plant is my Keith Thurman. Like Keith Thurman is like he's Gil Cole. I'll take that. Look, at least I'm willing to say, okay, I went a little overboard. I kind of cut for him a little too hard. Y'all made me realize that, it is what it is. I don't know why I like Plant. I'm like, the little Caucasian dude seemed my eye with me. He seemed my eye with me. But I don't know. Just because he telling he bitches him out, is he gonna get out there and do something though? But Don House, yeah, that's his. I just looked at it. I just looked it up. That's who is saying his head trainer is. You know anything about him? Okay, he said I'm about to drift off. Oh, he used to be Severn's trainer. Berman's Severn. Well, dang. Wilder went out there and wasn't that Severn too when he knocked him out? So yeah, see, Decane on the same thing I'm on. He said, "Damn, he beat Severn's ass and then took his trainer. That's cold blooded." He said, "My guys were Rigo and EJ. I had to eat crow off of them. Well, I had to eat crow off of EJ. I still got crow in the freezer from the EJ fight. So, don't bring up memories like that. Don't bring up memories like that. Don't do me like that." But man, I don't know what to tell you. I as hard as I'm rolling the wheels in my head right now, I really don't know what to say when it comes down to Wilder and Chisora, except right now there's nothing to make me believe that. There's nothing to make me pick Wilder over Chisora because of just Wilder's last showings. And I know you probably say, well, Chisora didn't do that great in his last fights, but he fought the same way all the time. Wilder didn't. And I know you say that Zhang and Parker are better fighters than Wilder, but Wilder didn't even pull the trigger, man. He wouldn't even pull the trigger in the Parker fight. He literally didn't pull the trigger. And like I said, he got caught with Zhang. He started looking around like, who threw that in the ring? And then we saw what happened after that. We saw what happened. So I have big hopes that he come out there and he pumped the jab and that he pumped the jab and set up a beautiful knockout on Chisora so he can keep going, because at this point right now, if Wilder don't beat Chisora, can't beat Chisora, where does he go from there? Who still wants to see him fight? It's pretty much like the invincibility cloak is gone. Even though Fury, you know, he had the great fights, the outstanding fights with Fury. After that, you know, it's like, okay, the invincibility cloak is gone. You know, you're just not the same Wilder. You like I said, the Bomb Squad not even there no more. You know, when last time you heard a Bomb Squad made you say, "Ooh, he's back"? You know, he used to do that Bomb Squad and give you oh yeah, it's gonna go down. I ain't heard Bomb Squad in so long. I don't even know if he still do it. I don't know if he even still do it. Only thing left is Wilder versus Jake Paul. Give me a second. Wilder could beat Jake Paul. I say Wilder could Wilder can beat Jake Paul. Wilder can beat Jake Paul. Stop doing that. Stop doing. Do I think he can beat AJ? AJ been gone so long, I don't know. They probably riding around in the same boat. Daniel Dubois, I think Daniel Dubois give Wilder the business. Even though Jermaine Franklin just took a loss, Jermaine Franklin might be able to give Wilder the business. What's the dude? Charles Martin. Charles Martin might be able to give Wilder the business. I think every fight that Wilder has at heavyweight now, if he beats Chisora, I think all the fights would be hard fights for him. All of the fights would be hard fights for him if he beats Chisora. Because let's not forget, he's on the other side of 35 too. So, you know, all his fights are going to be climb the mountain type fights. It doesn't matter pretty much out of the names I just named. Any of those fights going to be problems. F.A. Jabba, problem. Frank Martin, not Frank Martin. Frank, dang, what's his last name? Y'all know which Frank I'm talking about, the heavyweight Frank. But that Frank, that's a problem. Wardley, problem. Dubois, problem. Joshua, problem. Martin, problem. Am I forgetting somebody? Any of those fights, problems. All of them problems. And all those fights, you know, in order for you to get to the championship, you got to go through them. It's sad that Wilder's at the point that we have to say if he beats Chisora. Yeah, I guess you can't say that. Oh, Big Baby Anderson. Oh, Big Baby Anderson, the one that was crying. Yeah, imagine saying that in 2017. No, we wouldn't have been saying that in 2017. We'd be saying Wilder would knock Chisora's head off back in 2017. But remember how he was in 2017. Remember what we was getting from him in 2017 compared to what we're getting from him now. You know, we ain't seen him go off or have that bubble up inside of him. He ain't bubbled up. Last time we seen him bubble up was in that interview when the guy kept trying to talk about Tyson Fury. He got mad then. That's the maddest we seen Wilder since the fight with Tyson Fury. That was the maddest we seen him on camera in the interview. Is when in that interview that was the mad. Dillian White, man, he might. That's gonna be a hard fight. That would be a hard fight. Him and White, him and Anderson. I'll give him Big Baby Miller. I'll give him Big Baby Miller. I think he'd probably pull it off with Big Baby Miller. He probably could pull it off with Big Baby Miller. But Anderson, White, Joshua, F.A., Frank, Wardley, Itauma, all those names. Problem. All of them. I will honestly say, even though he said he wants to be champion again, I don't think he's going to ever be champion again. With or without the Tories, the one with the Olympics on his the Olympic. That's the one you're talking about, Richard. I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem because he likes to fight. He comes in on you. He don't just let you try to linger in. He gonna bring the fight. So, I have to say that your chances of ever having a dream of being undisputed or having the belts that Joshua had, that's gone. We could blame it on Eddie Hearn or whoever. I blame it on Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn wouldn't let y'all fight. It was always something, this and that. The opportunity was gone. If I had to break it down and be the guy who wrote the last words to the end of the story, I would say, he achieved what he was supposed to achieve. He achieved the fact that he made life comfortable for his kids and his family. He kept his word to do something to get money for his daughter with spina bifida. He became a champion, and at one point he was the longest reigning champion in boxing. He boasted the highest knockout rating. He lived the American dream. He went from I won't say dirt poor or anything like that, but I will say he went from struggling to being on the top of the world for a brief minute. And that's it. Now I think it would be smart and it would be smart to go ahead and say, I had my run. I'm older now. I know we said the game makes sense for older fighters because that's when they really start coming into things, but he's past that point, in my opinion. And, the scandals that he had, with the first trainer that he said, cost him the fight with Fury, all the scandals with Fury, the tail of the tape says it all. I think it's over. I think it's over. I think this fight, even if he wins, I would say, you know what? Go ahead and leave on the win. If you beat Chisora, go ahead and leave on the win. Leave on the win. Don't push your luck, bro. Don't push your luck. Because I like Wilder, and like I said, all the stuff that I just named off, he's accomplished. He's did that. He's did more than one thought he would do. Because remember, everybody said a lot of people said he was a trash boxer. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. He got a chance to prove everybody wrong up to a certain point. And that certain point was, I think, the wake-up call to say, hey, either start training better and doing things different to get your craft better, or get ready to get out the way. Let's not forget he started late in the game. For him to start as late as he did in the game and to accomplish as much as he has accomplished, I could salute him and say, bro, you did your thing. Ain't no need to keep stop chasing the belt. It's already wrote in the history books, and nobody can take that from you. You were the WBC heavyweight champion for about 5 years straight. You defended your belt 10 times. Some people get mad, but didn't Muhammad Ali defend his belt 10 times? So there you go. You did something that people say is the greatest. Did. He said, oh, my bad, I spelled Torres. It's Torres. But it's the dude with the he got the Olympic circles right there. I know who you're talking about. I think he'll give him the business. I think it'll give him the business. So yeah, Wilder after the Chisora fight, which I you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm going with Chisora. But I hope Wilder prove me wrong. But then don't start calling out other names, bro. Don't do that because, you know, y'all tell me one heavyweight. One heavyweight. Do y'all even see Wilder getting the belt again? Let's just do that. Since that's what he said he wanted to do. Do y'all see him being champion again? So this like Boots versus Xander Zayas. I want to look at Xander some more before I put it all the way out. He said, I don't see Wilder being champ again. I'm leaning a lot toward Boots, but I want to see Xander. I want to look at some more of his past fights so I can get a bigger helping of him. You know, I know Trey X the first at me, but you know, because I work the way I do, and I don't get to see the fights like y'all anymore. So I have to go and look at him and see what I think he does better or worse than Boots. And then I'll have it out there for you before it's all over with. But Fundora could beat Wilder at wow. Well, I would he throw more punches than Wilder for sure. He threw more punches from Wilder for sure. And going with Boots and Xander, you know, I've always said, you heard me say this, I think Boots shine brighter as the lights get brighter. I think that's his get up and go. The higher the opponent is looked upon, I think the better he'll show up. So this could cause a problem for Xander, but let me do a lot more homework on Xander, and then I can give you my point of view on it. Wilder will not get another title, and that's cool. He doesn't need another title, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? The stuff I just said, they could make a movie about this dude. You know, they could literally make a movie about his fighting career. Even if they put the Fury fights in it, they could make a movie about this dude's fighting career, and it would be a good movie, I think. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion, but I think if they did a movie about Deontay Wilder's fighting career, what he went through, how he went through it, coming from delivering, what was he, a beer truck delivery dude, coming from that to being a heavyweight champion of the world, holding the belt for 5 years. 5 years you held the belt. You had the highest knockout rating, higher than George Foreman, higher than Ronnie Lyles, higher than oh man, what's his name that Muhammad Ali took the belt from? You know, it doesn't. It doesn't even really have to be about his fighting career. It could be about his fight to take care of. Exactly. which any of those things out of from the start of fighting to Tyson Fury, let the reason be about his daughter. You know what I'm saying? It would be a great movie. In my opinion, I think that would be cinematic gold for a sports type movie. You know what I'm saying? If they did it correctly, I think it'd be a great movie. That's the kind of life this dude has had. He's been blessed, you know. And sometimes you can be blessed. I say people can be blessed, and they've been so blessed that they might be looking past the blessing as something that's there that's really not for them. You know what I'm saying? What was for you, you had. So let it be. But I don't know. You said that's the name of the movie should be Bridgerweight. No, he was a heavyweight. But you saying he should go down to Bridgerweight, or he should have took that deal in Bridgerweight? I don't know. I really don't know. I think what was laid out and how it was laid out and how it broke down for him is the way it was supposed to go. That's the best I could say, Eddie. But I agree with you on that, DeCane. It don't have to be about his fighting career. It could be about his fight to take care of his daughter, which would envelop the fighting career. But he had a good one. And once again, I'm going to have to say, I hope he wins, but I think Chisora going to beat him. What would be great is that neither one of them get knocked out and they fight to the end. It'd be such a good fight. They get a draw and they both retire. Wouldn't that be something? You didn't go out as a loser. You didn't go out as a winner. You draw with a guy. That should tell you a lot. The guy that said that he knows it's time for him to quit, and a guy who's at this moment right now searching for I don't really know what, but he said he wants to be a champion again, but I don't really see how. That kind of mix could be dangerous. And I don't know nothing about that trainer, the trainer. I don't know anything about Don House. Except that, like y'all said, that he trained Mr. Burn. He said they could end the movie on Fury 2. Yeah, they could. I'm just saying, I'm just painting the picture. It wasn't the greatest career in boxing, but he had a wonderful storyline. This guy came from delivering beers, being a sparring partner. Y'all, I don't know if y'all remember the interview, but he had an interview where he was like, man, I just thought I was going to be a sparring partner. I was just going to make a little money, like he said, to help my daughter who got spina bifida. He ended up getting blessed to start fighting. He gets a bronze medal in the Olympics. And the next thing you know, he gets cut loose into the pros, and he starts a string of knockouts. Now the world knows the Bronze Bomber. I don't care what you say. People know who they know Deontay Wilder. Whether they like him or not, they know him. The ending credits got to say Wilder would lose to Fury one more time before taking multiple other losses. Dang, DeCane, did you have to go and write the end of it like that fast? Dang. But it would have to say, something like that. Bigger weights is where he could win a belt. I mean, the Bridger weight is where he could win a belt. Well, in order to win a belt, Eric, you got to let your hands go. You got to be willing to let your hands go. And that's the part that I can't get over. He didn't let his hands go in the last couple of fights that we saw. Like I said, when he dropped Talanius, I think that was after the Fury fights when he got that in order to face Joseph Parker. You know, it was almost like he let his hand go, but that's because he was pushed up against the rope, and okay, it happened. I mentioned Moses versus Dubois, but I think Dubois got to go and get that spell, that re-up spell, because Usyk, I think Usyk knocked that off of him. So you got to get that spell back up. But if I had to be honest with you, and I'm going to be, I think Moses beats Dubois. I think Moses beats Dubois by foot movement and hand speed. I really think so. Not saying that Dubois won't go out there and try to win and fight back, but I think Moses beats him. He said, I don't want to see another Deontay or Broner fight. Got to throw something. Yeah, you got to throw something, man. You can't just go out there and let them and just cover up. You just can't go out there and cover up and let them just be punching on you. Dang, my arm look way bigger than the other. That's crazy. But this is the one I messed up. So, yeah, go sit down, bro. You the bronze bomber, and that should be enough. You rich, that should be enough. You had glory at heavyweight, the most pristine weight in boxing. The one that says if you were the champ at heavyweight, you was the baddest man on the planet. Let that sink in. You got a statue made out of you, made of you in where you from. You got a statue of the bronze bomber in Alabama. Let that sink in. They made a statue of you, man. Moody Trayweather said now he's being greedy in his opinion. I didn't want to go there, but I could feel you. You looking past the blessings that you already received, and you're trying to get more. You're trying to prove something to these people. Stop living it, listening to I don't want to say names because then I'll be starting something. So I'll just say stop listening to that cast of people who hold you up so high. It's time to go ahead and chill. Don't get beat up for them. Don't get beat up for them. Go ahead and enjoy your money, enjoy your life. If you want to do something, you open up a gym for your people. But man, you name another fighter. Do Floyd Mayweather got a statue? Bro, you got a statue in Alabama. I don't think you really in Alabama. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all know what I'm saying? Got a statue in Alabama. Bro. He said, man, stop hating on. I'm not. I'm just not, what I'm saying is I'm a fan of Deontay Wilder, but let's be real. Let's be real. Sometimes is my glasses dirty? The glasses is he looking at the world dirty? Let me see that? Oh no, that's terrible for y'all. Bro, you've accomplished everything. Okay, that king can be here, but even kings decide at some point or another, you know what? I ain't gotta go fight this battle. I don't have to fight these battles no more. It's other warriors. Go start your own. Go get you some fighters. Get you some good trainers and train these fighters and let them go out and carry on the legacy. But you don't, I'm running through my mind. You don't get much better than touting the highest knockout rating in boxing at one point. People were actually debating if you were the hardest hitting heavyweight ever. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Because I don't want to see you get beat up again. You know, seeing you get knocked out in that last fight against Fury, I was like, dang, bro. That, you know, I didn't like that. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I did not like seeing the brother get knocked out like that. Now I've seen plenty knockouts in my life and therefore plenty beat downs in my life in boxing. But that one I just was like, dang. But, you know, the thing I can't hold on to for him is the fact that you started young, you went to the Olympics, you became heavyweight champion, held the belt for 5 years, defended 10 times, highest knockout rating. You know, I can say these things until I'm blue in the face, but he needs to realize that. So, with me being saying, let the Derek Chisora fight be the closing curtain. Eric R. would have to put losing the Fury on Black History Month was diabolical. But it can't be more diabolical than Donald Trump trying to take it away from us. So, with that being said, all I can say is let this be the final act. Let this fight be the final act, and ride away in the sunset with your money, with your scruples. You still talk as well as you did when you first came in the game. You make mistakes like I do, say country stuff and mess up words like I do. But you was doing that anyway. You got your money. You got a chance to see who really was with you and who was against you. Which family members weren't worth nothing and which ones were. Girlfriends which wasn't worth nothing. Why he got one that looked kind of like the one that he used to have that messed over him. You might need to go and get one about as black as you. Used to have a Jerry curl back in it. You might need to go get one of them that's really going to hold you up. But what can I say? What if Trump said Wilder has to win on Black History Month for us to keep it? Well, I guess we just don't have a month no more, huh? That wasn't his fault. It was the lights at the side of the suit, plus the egg weights in the gloves, per the autopsy. You know he mistakenly said autopsy. You know he didn't mean to say autopsy. But like I said, we make mistakes, but say words the wrong way. Trey X says, salute. I'll jump on when I get home if you still on. We can hold it for our brother to show up so we can say, what's happening? Dang, DeCane, you really, did you have to bring up the autopsy? You could have stopped at the suit, the egg weights, the gloves. You didn't have to put per autopsy. But, you know, we keep it real over here. We got to, if it's remembered and it's been said, then we got to put it out there like it was. Damn. Definitely. It was definitely the autopsy. Really, Eric R? It was definitely the autopsy? Definitely. I can't even think of the word that he was supposed to be using because every time I look, all I see is autopsy. It's sad I can't even think of the word right now. But it wasn't supposed to be autopsy. It was supposed to be I can't remember what it was. Can't remember. Not checkup. It was something no, not the investigation. So let me ask you this. So if they do the movie, do they put the part in there about Fury eating uncircumcised pork? Or do they just focus in the camera stars in the sky the birds and stuff flying, some clouds, and then it starts to focus down on a beer delivery truck, and it zoom in on the back. And the dude raised the truck up and start pulling beers out and putting them on I can't even a dolly and roll them into the place. Is that how we're gonna start the movie with the cane? Man, you could write it. We could write it. We could write it up and get everything together and push it out and make us some change off of it. But I'm thinking the opening credits should be like that. Man, it's been a beautiful week, beautiful day. Till this man brought up the autopsy. Hurt me to the core. Hurt me to the core. I don't know if he's still on. I think he's traveling, trying to get to the house. So he can come hang out with us a little bit. But yeah, my opinion, Wilder should go ahead and say, it's been a good ride. It's been a good journey. He said he's been humbled and all that stuff. Then, go and get your chill on, bro. Won't nobody be mad at you. Won't nobody be mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Ain't that a Tupac song? He said you got to have Wilder carrying 2 cases of beer and do the Spike Lee camera thing. Oh, when he walking. You don't remember when Fury had popped and he said it was because he ate some uncircumcised he ate uncircumcised pork. You don't remember that? Some wild boar meat. That's what he said. And then the dude, the farmer, the guy who owned the land came back and did a video and was like, an old man was like, nah, he ain't getting no uncircumcised boar meat from over here. And then they made a video and he threatened the old man. You don't remember that? Wow. Yeah, I ain't mad at you. Indeed, it's a Tupac song. Yeah, that's, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Do your thing. I can't believe you don't remember that. He said uncircumcised. Eric, you don't remember that either? You don't remember the old man that had the farm? And the old man and Tyson Fury did a video like he was threatening the old dude. I ain't hear from the old dude no more. He ain't make another video. But he did make a video saying that he had I think he had pigs or boars or something like that. He said, I remember the boar meat accusation. I don't remember it being called uncircumcised. Yeah, because they were saying that's because he was uncircumcised is the reason that the whatever it was that was this Fury system was there because it was uncircumcised. It wasn't because it was what, man, I'm telling you, man, because oh my gosh. Because I was like, wait, what? So you saying that if the foreskin ain't cut off for the weed whacker, that and you eat it, it's gonna give you something in your system that only can be injected? I wasn't getting that. Fury was linked with the Euro mob. I get all that. I'm just saying. That's how I remember the story. I remember the story being uncircumcised boar meat because I was like, what? What? I would be embarrassed to even say that. I would be like, MZ, how'd you get in your system? Well, the sure wasn't eating uncircumcised boar meat. I could bet you that. It wasn't because I ate that. No. But yeah, it was a wild story, man. It was a wild story. And then he threatened the old man because the old man did a video. Old white dude was doing a video like y'all threw me in this. Like, I ain't had nothing to do with this man popping dirty, and don't be blaming the stuff that came from over here. And then Fury did a video talking about they was on their way to see the old man. And we ain't seen the old man since. We ain't seen him since. I can't even believe people didn't do videos and be like, what happened to the old man? The old man, what old man? The old man that said that he didn't do, that the wild boy didn't come from his spot. That old man. It just all went on down the road because people was making fun of Wilder because he lost to Fury, but that's how the story was going. It was all that stuff was mixed into a big old pot together. The old man doing the video saying it wasn't that it didn't come from him, and Fury literally did a video like he was on his phone, and they was riding in a car, and he was telling the old man, "We coming." He said Fury and Marquez had potluck. No. Heck no. He said, wait, they pulled up. He threatened the old man, boar meat and piss bottles. No, I wouldn't go. But yeah, he called. I'm telling you, he did a video. He was like, you know how he talk, blah, 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 blah. Welcome to see ya. And then we didn't see the old man no more. He didn't do no more video. I'm just saying. Let me see. Let me see if it's still around. Hold on. Fury threatens pig farmer. Okay. Yep.
Disney Plus. All three apps for one price, $12.99.
Hold on.
For one price of $12.99 a month. And he put this at the end.
Hold on, I'm looking for it because it's
Don't fear, we coming.
Okay. Right here, I'm getting this part off of Boxing Ego. It say we was doing half a marathon today, but got canceled for obvious reasons. But we're going to do a half marathon at home. Batman and Robin. No, that ain't the part. I need to get to the part. I need to find the video where he literally was going off. Where he threatened dude. You know how they be doing those short videos. I'm coming to see ya.
So does this. So good luck to ESPN and Tyson Fury and Mick.
Well, let me show you the picture of the old dude. That's the old dude right there. That's the old dude right there that said that the tainted boar meat didn't come from him. And Fury and them went on a rampage and said he was gonna get him. He said the old man gone, him and Jim Carrey. Who is Jim Carrey? All I know is that man threatened that dude and they showed up. That's all I know. But that man said it didn't have nothing to do with it. But I'm trying to find a video where Tyson Fury said he was going to pull up on that dude. John Fury, drone kill, no. It's a lot of stuff in here. Fury headbutting people, all kind of madness like that. It's a lot of videos right here to go through. I'm not for sure I can find that one, but I'm telling you, he was on the phone making the video, and he told that old dude he was coming to see him because the old dude wasn't going to let them use him as the blame for Tyson Fury having uncircumcised meat from the boar that gave him some kind of PED, some kind of PED in the system. That's just the gist of it, baby. That's just the gist of it. Fury had some of the funniest sayings ever in boxing. Yeah, he did. He did have some funny sayings. But we have to put that in the movie, DeCane. We have to put the boar meat in the movie for sure. Have to put that in the movie for sure. If we're gonna do it, we gotta lay it out right. But this dude, man, come on, Wilder, just let it go. Let me go ahead and say, make my apologies now. Trey X, I'm sorry, bro. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it. It's already 10:15. I've been on here for a strong few minutes. I love the fact that y'all came through to kick it with me. I'm gonna get some more stuff on my wall back there. Y'all can't see my desk with all my books. But I've been on the book of Enoch, been reading that one, going through it deep. Also, did the Itauma Elish. I finished that one. Very, very good. The book of Jasser. I'm looking for the book of Maccabees. And it's another book that I'm looking for. I'm getting a whole biblical collection. I should have the Ethiopian Bible within my hand in the next few days because that seemed to be the one that's the main book that I'm missing out of the collection that I have. My brother and I have been doing study group together and going through it. Like no man born of his mother could beat him. Then he told Usyk, no man who wears the earring can beat him, and went on to get cooked. Yeah, he did say that. No man born from his mother's. He called it something. And yeah, went out there and got beat up. I said, Eric, we're gonna have to get back on our chess thing too, man. We're gonna have to get you were whooping up on me a little bit. He said you're gonna have to get the Greek translation Bible too. The Greek, well, the oldest one out of my research that I found, the oldest one is the Ethiopian one. But I'll check into that one and see what it is. Bro, holler at me before you buy that. The Maccabee books are the wrong ones in most places. You have to you have a Catholic version and an authentic version. I'm looking for the authentic version. I'm not looking for anything from the Catholic. I'm sorry. If any Catholics are here, forgive me. I'm not trying to down on y'all, but there's a lot of bad pointing from the books that don't give y'all a good light. So but yeah, appreciate that, Kane. I will holler at you about that. Cool. I'll send you a match after the show. I appreciate that too. But yeah, I've been digging deep in that, trying to get some understanding and some learning. If y'all noticed, I've been working on trying not to curse as much. I've been making some changes in my life, trying to brighten my vibration, my spirit, and get closer to where I need to be, because I've been on the wrong march for a long time. You feel me? But yeah, I really want to make sure I get the Maccabees books, man. So have you read them? It's another one I'm thinking. I can't think of Jubilees. Now, I want the book of Jubilees too. I need that. I'm looking for that one too. I need the Jubilees and the Maccabees. I need both of those. And I'm also getting the books of Adam and Eve. Books of Adam and Eve of what went on with them. Oh, you got them. Wow. Okay, let me know where to get them from, bro. Please, like you said, I'll holler at you. I'll holler at you so we can square that away. But I also the book of Adam and Eve, what went on with them after the garden and during the time of them learning from and stuff like that. You know, trying to complete the whole story of the whole of the book, all the stuff they took out. I'd rather read it all together, because growing up, you know, you taught with the Bible from the older generation, my older generation, and the Bible is what they swore by. And as a youngster, it was always read to me, and I was just not getting the picture. You know, I was getting the picture, and it was coming to me fragmented. And when they spoke about Melchizedek and Enoch and Enoch and all those different things, I was like, why'd they hit on it and just leave it? Where's the rest of that at? And it kind of gave me a uneasy feeling, like, you're teaching me something, but you're not letting me know everything about it. And now, you know, in my older age, I won't say I'm wiser. I just say I got a little wisdom about that much. I'm trying to hustle and find everything I can to get the full picture, to get the whole picture. Cause yeah, I just need the whole picture, bro. I just need the whole picture. I just need the whole picture. You know, I'm not professing it right now. I'm trying to learn about God and everything there is to know about God. And I don't care who like it and who don't. That's what it is for me. I appreciate you extending the hand so I can get what I need from you. I'll greatly appreciate that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get up out of here. I try to hold on for our brother to fall through. Once again, I want to send some prayers up to Big E's wife. You know, she's under the weather. Ended up being at the hospital. Big E, that's why we haven't seen him saying anything. If he shows sis, if you get to see this, sis, I love you. Get better. See you soon. Hey, man, for the rest of y'all, peace and love. Gonna still do my music. Still do my boxing. I'm gonna get my wall fixed up so y'all can see the stuff that my baby girl got for me. As y'all can see my little boxing shirt. You can't really focus in on the Muhammad Ali picture, but it's there. And big love to y'all, man. Peace. I'm out.